Should you spend the extra money to get the Galaxy Note 8 over the Galaxy S8 Plus? That is what a lot of people are asking, so let's go and find out. Now, excellent specs on both these phones, and they actually have a lot in common but some differences. So the biggest differences are the screen size, the cameras on the back, the battery size, the amount of RAM, and the S Pen on the Note 8. And we'll be discussing that more in depth throughout the video. Okay, so the Note 8, unsurprisingly, first one to boot up, and the S8 Plus a couple seconds behind. So as you guys see, all the apps closed down on both phones. And first up we have BBC News, Note 8, Amazon Shopping, Note 8 here as well, YouTube. Again, we have Note 8, calculator, and clock. Now you're going to see a big difference with more of the tests later on in the video, but even for now, for the app opening, you are seeing a difference here. Once again, Note 8 here, iFunny, yet again Note 8, and Photos, Note 8. So you should see bigger difference here with Modern Combat 5. Now, in terms of speed, I think the biggest differences here are Note 8 is better optimization, and the additional 2 GB of RAM, 6 versus 4, really makes a huge difference for the multitasking, and we'll see that later in the video. Alright, settings next. And 2 more games, moving on to more stuff, so Temple Run 2. Now the screen size is pretty similar, although it is slightly bigger on a Note 8, 6.3 inches versus 6.2. Both are Quad HD. And yeah, this is a pretty big difference here, at least 2 or 3 seconds. Alright, final game, we have Asphalt 8. Now the battery on the S8 Plus is actually slightly bigger, 3500 versus 3300. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with the Note 8. And yeah, big difference there again of at least 3 or 4 seconds. And then here's a look at the Antutu benchmark. So as you guys see here, slightly higher score on Note 8, 178,000 versus 177. And among the highest for any phone on the market. Now, still a lot more testing to do in this video, including Chrome, camera speed, multitasking, and fingerprint scanner. But before that, let's go over the specs and the differences between the two. So 6.3 inch screen on the Note 8, 6.2 on the S8 Plus, both are Quad HD. Front-facing cameras of 8 megapixels on both these phones. Now on the back, you have 2 on the Note 8, both are 12 megapixels, and 1 on the S8 Plus at 12 megapixels as well. Now the second camera on the Note 8 is used for zoom. 64 gigabytes internal storage and micro SD card support on both. You actually have a larger battery on the S8 Plus, 3500 versus 3300. And I think the reason for that is because of the whole Note 7 exploding issue. Obviously, Samsung being extra careful here with the Note 8, but we'll have actual comparison of that later in the future. Now, both of these phones have the Snapdragon 835 and 4 GB of RAM on the S8 Plus versus 6 on the Note 8. Both phones are waterproof, IP68 certified, and USB Type-C at the bottom there. So obviously, the design on both is extremely similar. Both phones do have headphone jacks. And the biggest difference here, I think, is the S Pen on a Note 8. So it comes out like this. Just slide it out and you can write whatever you want on the screen. And we'll have a more in-depth video on this in the future. So aside from the S Pen, the phones are actually pretty similar. And forgot to mention, really beautiful designs on both, mostly glass and metal. And finally, keep in mind that the Note 8 is several $100s more expensive, around $950 versus around $650. Fingerprint scanner next, and that's located on the back of both phones right here. So just testing out the speed. Not a fan of the placement on either one, but clearly the Note 8 is faster here. Yeah, Note 8 pretty easily winning this. Chrome next, and let's go ahead and clear out the web history on both phones. And I'm going to close out of Chrome and go back in. So let's do IGN.com first. IGN. Advantage here for the note. Let's do IMDb. We've got IMDb.com. Advantage there for the note. Let's do two more. Let's do Samsung and Nintendo. Samsung.com. And very, very close, maybe Note 8 by a couple milliseconds. And final one, Nintendo. Nintendo.com. And this one going to the S8 Plus, but overall it does go to the Note 8 for web browsing. Camera speed next, and this is one of the big differences between these two phones. So on Note 8 you have two cameras on the back, and both are 12 megapixels. And on the S8 Plus you have one at 12 megapixels as well. And open up the camera app on both. So we'll have real comparisons later in the future, but for now testing out the speed. Now the second camera on the Note 8 is used for zoom, so you're getting really good zoom on it. Now in terms of speed, both appear to be pretty similar. Yeah, really not much of a difference here. And I'll show you guys that second camera here on the Note 8. So zoom in. And of course you can zoom in more than this, but it's just the default. Yeah, actually, you know what? We may as well do a maximum zoom on both of these just to show you guys a comparison. Well, it's going to be kind of hard, but we'll have real comparisons of this in the future. Multitasking last, and you guys are going to see a big difference here. So going back towards the beginning, BBC News, completely refreshing there on the S8 Plus. Again, Amazon, huge difference, and you're going to see a much bigger difference even with the games. YouTube. Now YouTube actually maybe okay, that's a Note 8 as well. eBay. Yes, I actually clicked on something on that on the Note 8. Temple Run 2. Oh wow, I'm actually surprised. Usually the S8 Plus does refresh this, but not this time. I think it may refresh this one, let's see. Wow, surprising. Okay, so it's not refreshing again on the S8 Plus. A lot of times it does. iFunny. And Photos. Modern Combat 5. And this will be the final one. So yeah, you guys see on this one, it is refreshing on the S8 Plus, not on the Note 8. Now the S8 Plus actually did better than it normally does during the multitasking. But the Note 8 definitely one of the best multitasking phones out there on the market. So is it worth spending the extra money to get the Note 8 over the S8 Plus? Let's go over those differences once more and give my final thoughts. So again, slightly larger screen on Note 8, 6.3 versus 6.2. Now I will not let that influence you because it's not going to make a difference, although the S8 Plus is smaller and thinner, easier to hold. In terms of rear-facing cameras, again, it is better on the Note 8 having that second one on the back, but I do not think it will make a big difference for most people. Having a smaller battery in Note 8, definitely a disappointment. Again, 3300 versus 3500. Now the S8 Plus has an amazing battery, best on the market, and I still have to do a comparison, an actual comparison versus Note 8. But still guys, it is disappointing having a smaller one here on the Note 8. Now the S Pen is definitely a great thing about the Note 8 and the biggest difference between these two phones. Now I did use the S Pen a lot on the Note 7, which I have right here, and I do expect to use a lot on Note 8 as well. But I think for most people, it's probably not worth the price difference for that alone. And finally, guys, the other biggest difference, of course, what you guys saw in this video. 6 gigabytes of RAM on Note 8, 4 on the S8 Plus, and clearly optimization differences as well. Now, if the Note 8 was only $100 or $200 more expensive than the S8 Plus, I would recommend for most people getting Note 8 over the S8 Plus. All in all, guys, if you don't mind spending extra money, if you want the latest and the greatest, then go for the Note 8. But for most people, I'd say go for the S8 Plus. So lots more testing between these two phones, including camera tests, battery life, and more. And of course, all the major smartphones coming out in the future and currently on the market. So stay up to date by pressing that subscribe button right there. Let me know in the comment section below what you want to see next. And as always, thanks for watching.